Alongside Peter, we helped to organise this vigil. Thank you for taking the time to be here tonight. 5 years ago, Sarah Everard, a 33-year-old woman, was walking along a street not far from where we stand tonight, like so many of us do every day. But unlike others that evening, she never made it home. The steps she took down Pointers Road were her last. In that moment, something changed, not just for her family or her friends, but for this community and for women across the country. We're here this evening to remember her because she deserves to be remembered. We remember her not as a headline, not as a case, not as a moment in the news cycle, but as Sarah, a daughter, a friend, a woman with plans, laughter, and a future ahead of her, cruelly taken away. And tonight, we remember every victim of gender-based violence: women, trans women, children, non-binary people, those whose lives were taken, and those who continue to live with the impact of violence every single day. We gather not in anger, but in remembrance, because remembrance matters, because saying their name matters, because standing like this matters. As Maya Angelou once said, "I come as one, but I stand as 10,000. So tonight we stand together for Sarah and for all those who should still be here. We would now like to hand over to Rebecca Goswalk from Solace, a UK charity dedicated to preventing gender-based violence and providing inclusive, survivor-centred support to women, children and non-binary people.
Thank you to those that have attended the vigil today. It's heartwarming to see so many members of this community come together to remember and honour Sarah, and thank you to the Clapham for organising. Our thoughts are first with those who knew and loved Sarah. It's been incredible to see the words of Sarah's mother talking about her and sharing how she added beauty to the world. It's a tragedy to think that families across London have lost loved ones.
Can't hear you.
In the last 5 years. Sorry, is that better?
Yeah.
Thank you. Sadly, Sarah's case is not the only one we've seen in recent years. Today is also an opportunity to remember Nicole, Bieber, Zara and Sabina, as well as the many other women's lives that were taken in public or in their own homes that we've never heard about. We also know that there are many women experiencing violence and abuse across London today. For many, Sarah's murder was a wake-up call to the epidemic of violence against women and girls in our society. Sarah's tragic death put a spotlight on women's perpetual tense shoulders, keys clutched in our hands, the shared locations, the promise to text when we get home, the quiet but ever-present undercurrent of fear which we live in and men can't begin to imagine. We wish we could say that women are significantly safer, but sadly we haven't seen enough action taken. The average number of women killed by men in England and Wales remains stable, and at Solace we speak to them every day living in fear. Inquiries have found the huge failings that led to Sarah's killer being able to become and stay a police officer. While some progress has been made, there is an ongoing failure within our police forces to tackle violence against women and girls with the seriousness it demands. However, at Solace, we refuse to accept this as the norm. We refuse to bend ourselves further out-shaped to fit into a world where women's lives are seen as less, and where authorities do not challenge the people that perpetrate violence and abuse. We will keep calling for the change we need, including looking to tackle the misogynistic cultures that are at the root of violence and abuse. We'll keep pushing for further change and from the police and from government. But we're also here to help women experiencing violence and abuse right across London. Last year we supported nearly 25,000 women and children through our refuges, our helplines, and through the support we give to women to find safety and recover from their experiences. If you know or anyone you know is experiencing abuse, please visit solacewomens'aid.org. Thank you again to everyone who's turned out to honour Sarah today and support Solace so we can help more women and girls to safety. Hello everybody, I'm Joanna Reynolds. I spoke at Sarah's Vigil 5 years ago. I was the local councillor here. She was abducted from the end of my street. We have a daughter who's slightly younger than her, and we used to tell her to walk along the way that Sarah walked home. We all knew locally that something strange had happened that night, and we didn't know when we had the vigil exactly what it was. I was overwhelmed, as I am tonight, looking out at you all, because people were carrying pictures and placards of the women they knew, friends and family, who'd been abducted or murdered in different circumstances, and many of them made it very clear they didn't know what had happened to those women. And as we know, it's still continuing today. We do need to reclaim the streets, reclaim the night. It's important that for all of us and for our children and for any girls that are growing, that we make sure that it's not just about us women, it's about the men here. We need to make sure that they and the boys growing up understand how they should treat the women in their lives and the women that they see on the streets. Sarah, I cannot imagine what it was like for Sarah at the moment she got into that car, or for her family, and particularly her parents, how they must have felt during that time. And we should all stand here now, for a minute, and remember Sarah and everybody else. And I would like you to put the camera, your thing on your cameras, so that we can shine a light up into this amazing Clapham evening to remember Sarah. Sarah Everard, you're an amazing woman. Thank you all for coming this evening and remembering.
We would now like to invite you to lay flowers in remembrance of Sarah and all victims of violence. On behalf of Police Fest of Clapham, thank you all so much for coming. Good evening.
Excuse me, I'd just like to know if there's any friends or family of Sarah here. I'd like to talk to them. I actually, I've got a bit of a story. I met her and I was in a pub about 6 months before it happened, and the copper walked into the pub, and I'll never forget it because when it happened.